The Princess and the Suitor. Long ago, there lived a king and queen who ruled their kingdom with patience and hope. For many years, they had no child. When a daughter was finally born to them, the entire kingdom celebrated. Bells rang, fires were lit, and the people rejoiced, believing the child to be a blessing meant to last generations. But the joy did not last. When the princess was only 5 years old, the queen fell ill and passed away. From that day on, the king poured all the love he had left into his daughter. Too much love. As the princess grew, she was given everything she desired: gold, servants, praise, and freedom from consequence. No one corrected her. No one denied her. And slowly, kindness left her heart. When she walked through the village, she mocked the poor. She scolded servants for the smallest mistakes. Her words cut sharper than blades. The king saw it all, but he said nothing. His love blinded him, and in his silence, he raised a storm he could not control. When the princess came of age, she was renowned for her beauty across many lands. Yet no suitors came. Kings whispered, princes hesitated, but her reputation had reached farther than her face. Humiliated and furious, the princess stormed out of the palace one afternoon, pacing through the streets of her kingdom. That was when she collided with an old man. He stumbled to the ground. Instead of helping him, the princess lashed out, mocking his age, his weakness, his presence. The old man rose slowly, his eyes heavy with sadness. Before leaving, he spoke. "You will be given a suitor, but not the one you desire, and until your heart is changed, your fate will remain bound to him." The wind stirred, and he vanished into the crowd. Days later, during a violent storm, a suitor arrived. He came from a kingdom no one recognized, escorted by figures cloaked in shadow. The prince was tall, handsome, and calm. The princess was immediately taken by him. The wedding was arranged quickly, too quickly. Within days, she was married and taken away from her father, riding into the storm toward her new home. The king watched them disappear into the rain. As they traveled farther, something felt wrong. The forest thickened, and the road grew narrow. One by one, the guards disappeared, then the horses, and then the carriage itself. The princess laughed at first, thinking it all part of the journey, until she turned to speak to her husband and heard only chirping. Where the prince had been, now stood a large praying mantis, watching her. Her legs would not move. Her voice would not rise. As the mantis walked toward a bush, her body followed like a puppet pulled by invisible strings. They arrived at a small, broken hut hidden deep in the wild. The mantis spoke not with a mouth, but directly into her mind. "You are my wife now. You will serve. You will endure, and you will learn." Days turned into weeks. The princess cleaned, cooked, carried water, slept on dirt. No servants, no crown, no praise. For the first time in her life, she was powerless. And for the first time, she understood. She learned patience, she learned humility, and she learned kindness. One night, she fell to her knees and wept, not for herself, but for those she had hurt. She apologized. The mantis began to glow. It stretched and changed, standing tall once more, revealing the old man she had insulted in the village. "What you give to others," he said, "returns to you unchanged." Light flooded her vision. The princess awoke in her bed at the palace. Morning sunlight streamed through the windows. The storm was gone, but the lesson remained. From that day on, she became known as the kindest soul in the kingdom, apologizing, giving, listening. And when a true prince eventually came for her hand, she was ready not because of her beauty, but because of her heart. Thus ends the tale of the proud princess and the suitor she never expected.